Arsene, let's start with some team news. Who's in and who's out for Monday nights?
Well, from Tuesday night we didn't lose anybody. We have certainly will be back in the squad, Arteta and Ramsey. So that's the news we have at the moment.
You said after Tuesday it would, you need to lift your team after a disappointment, but is it easier to do that after such a big win?
Yes, because you always feel when you have performed it's a bit easier. The disappointment is there, but we produced the performance we wanted. We were just a fraction short, and if we have regrets, it's more down to the fact that we had missed our first game and that we had many players out on a night where any player you could put on at that level, the players who come on the pitch have a massive importance, you know, and in midfield we're a bit short.
And finally from me, Newcastle have surprised a few people this year. Why do you think they've done so well?
First of all, they play with a fantastic attitude, and but basically what they've done very well, they bought well, and it's one of the secrets in our game. They, I thought that Kabay is a very good buy, but Ben Arfa, Dembaba, Cisse, many all their buys were successes.
Arsene, can you tell us what the situation is regarding Lukas Podolski? Certainly reports have suggested that an agreement has been reached between Arsenal and Cologne.
I have not a lot to say about that, because if we sign a player, we'll inform you, and at the moment we have not signed anybody.
So is there no agreement?
There's still no agreement.
Do you sense that you might be close to an agreement? Per Mertesacker described him as a perfect fit. Would you agree with that?
There are two questions in one. First, linked with the distance. In fact, the distance to the agreement is not always linked with the signing, you know. Many times when you're very close, you are quickly very far again. And but Podolski is a good player. I wouldn't deny that.
Would you see him as someone who could play with Robin van Persie? Because I think perhaps there are one or two Arsenal fans who are concerned that you might see him as a replacement for Robin van Persie.
When we sign any player, even Podolski will inform you and tell you our plans, but our plan is just to, and I will not comment further on that, is to keep Robin van Persie, even if we buy any player.
What did you make of Roberto Mancini's comments talking about Robin van Persie and saying that all good teams would be interested in him? Are you annoyed?
No, because we are a good team.
Is it unsettling though? I mean, you've said that the club will do everything possible to keep Robin van Persie. Is it unsettling?
Nothing is unsettling, and at our level we are professional people. I believe if you need to have one quality is not to be unsettled because by what is said of you or of other clubs. I believe that's part of the job. You know, what is important is how much you want to win the next game, and all the rest is basically not important.
In terms of new contracts for other Arsenal players, where do we stand with Thomas Rosicky, Theo Walcott?
Thomas Rosicky and Theo Walcott, as soon as we have news, we'll give them to you as well.
Tell me, have you received a letter from the Premier League asking you not to talk about the England job, the England situation?
No, I don't think so. I must speak to my secretary because in the last 3 days I didn't read many letters, but I don't think so.
So,
No.
so you don't think you've received one. Sir Alex Ferguson has received one.
Oh. We are too close to a federation here.
What do you think of it? If you were to, you know, open a letter from the Premier League that says, please don't talk about the England situation. How do you feel about being gagged?
Yes. I believe everybody's free to talk about the England job. In fact, I spoke many times about that, so I've done my sins. And, well, it's inevitable if you have nobody who is in place that the press will be worried about it and ask questions about it.
And can you just update us on the situation with Andre Santos and Jack Wilshere? How are they?
In fairness, Jack Wilshere had a scan today, this morning, where we expect the news. When I walked out to the training session at 11, we had still no information about the scan. And Santos is available. I forgot him is available if needed on Tuesday night to be in the squad.
How pleased are you with that? He's been out, what, 3 months?
3 months, yes. Well, we played for 2 months without fullbacks, so we are pleased that Sunday we have our fullbacks back.
On the subject of Jack, are you assuming that the progress is still as it was expected? You're not expecting any different?
The progress in training is very good. What you do not want is have any setback, and the setback could be a bad scan, but the signs of the clinical signs are all very good. When you look at his ankle, it's not inflamed. It's normal progress now, but we are a bit overcautious with him because of the setbacks we had before.
Yeah, Andre, you're confident with Andre? How long has he been training for now?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you had to use him, you'd be confident to put him in the
Yes.
game. Yeah. You didn't mention Benayoun or Diaby. What's the situation there?
Diaby will not be available for Tuesday. Benayoun, if all goes well, he could be available to join again training on Sunday.
I know it's a difficult one for you to answer, but are you frustrated that UEFA have charged you?
Yes.
What can you tell her? What can you say? What would you like to say now?
I'm in a mode today and not to say a lot. So I keep my line of conduct until the end. There's no comment, but I think I'm quite surprised because I've played 200 European Cup games, and the situation is quite becoming a little bit surprising.
You feel justified in what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Arsene, Wojciech Szczesny came out this week and he said that he personally was desperate to finish above Tottenham. Given that it looks unlikely you're going to be able to give the fans any silverware this season, how important is finishing as third, as top London club, to give something back to the supporters after what's not necessarily
Well, we want
straightforward
to finish as high as we can. Is it above Tottenham or somebody else? It will be difficult. We know that we face a massive battle there with Tottenham, with Chelsea, with Newcastle, maybe Liverpool. So we know that until the end of the season, we have created the momentum, but until the end of the season we play every game will be a massive one for us, because that was at stake, to be in the top 4, if possible in the top 3. But everybody, it will be difficult for everybody.
Have you been impressed with the job Alan Pardew's done?
Yeah, he's done a good job.
His appointment was...
Yeah, it was a difficult job, and he did well.
What is your sort of relationship like with him now? Is it still on your mind?
I don't want to go into that, no special relationship. I respect every manager, and before and after the game and during the game we fight against each other.
Can I get your thoughts, actually, talking about another manager, David Moyes? He will have been in charge at Everton 10 years next week. What did you make of the job?
My compliments. He has done a massive job there, and for knowing how much effort you put in on daily basis. When a guy lasts 10 years somewhere, you have to give him credit, because he suffered a lot, and put a lot of effort and dedication in, and our job is a real sacrifice of your life. So when a guy makes that for 10 years at at the club and gets the results that Moyes has made. He deserves a huge credit.
Okay, last couple of more.
Arsene, going back to Robin, would you prefer it now if managers don't talk about him towards the end of the season? Because he's your player, he's contracted to Arsenal.
I cannot stop that. In an ideal world, maybe, but doesn't bother me too much.
Does it bother Robin?
I don't think so.
You think you can just contract?
Robin is the leader of our club. I would just like to specify that he's not at the end of a contract, you know, and that he's under contract until 2013. So do your job, focus on your job, what he does very, very well, and enjoy your games.